Properly optimizing your metadata can make a huge difference in your website's performance. It can boost your rankings and it can also improve your click-through rate, which ultimately both of those drive more and more traffic to your business so that you can generate more sales. So let's talk about how to set up your metadata properly. Now at this point, your website is just about ready to launch. You've got your content all laid out with your optimized headers, you've got your footer area set up, you've got your contact forms sending emails to your inbox. But before you actually launch your site and take it live, there's a couple of key things that I would recommend you do first. For one, you need to add in some metadata to the pages on your website. Now if you're not familiar with what metadata is, don't worry, because I'm going to explain what it is and how to add it to your website properly. But why exactly is metadata so important in the first place? Well, this information is a direct means of talking to search engines. And through the use of metadata, you can help tell Google and other search engines what you want each page of your website to rank for in the organic search results. Now this can mean the difference between having your website show up on page number 1, where you get loads of high quality targeted traffic, and having your website show up on page 2 or 3 where nobody ever finds it. So whatever you do, make sure you take time to complete this step. All right, let's get into it. If you're like most people, then you've probably never heard of metadata before. So let me explain what this mysterious metadata is all about. If you've ever done a search on Google or any other search engine for that matter, then you've seen the information that gets displayed for each website, like the example here. Well, this information is drawn from the website via a bot that goes through and crawls all of the pages on the website. Now I'm talking about the bot from Google, of course. Now without getting into too much detail, these results can be influenced by adding a piece of code to your website. And that snippet of code is what we call metadata. Now I say that you can influence these listings only because Google does pull other information from the page that's more relevant to a user's exact search. So just because you add metadata to your page doesn't necessarily mean that that metadata is going to appear every time a page of your website shows up in the organic search results. But nonetheless, let's walk through the process of actually adding the metadata to your website, and promise you things are going to start to make a whole lot more sense. Alright, so we have our example website pulled up here that we've been using for our example business, the Chicago Dentist. And yours is probably going to look a lot different because you should already have all of your text and images and everything laid out. But just to show you how to actually add the metadata into the pages on your website, we're going to do that on this example page here. Now the first thing that we need to do before we get started is actually add in the plugin that's going to allow us to place the metadata on the pages of the website. And that plugin is called Yoast SEO. So if you come into the back end of your WordPress website and you look on the left hand side here, you'll see an option for plugins, and then below that you'll see add new. So if you click on that tab, then you should see a page that looks like this where you have the ability to search. Now if you just type in Yoast into this search bar and click enter, then you should see a plugin that looks just like this one pop up, Yoast SEO by Team Yoast. And you'll know it's the right one because it'll have millions of active installs. This is a very, very popular plugin because of its effectiveness, really. So once you find the plugin here, then you just click install now. And that's going to take a second to go ahead and download those files into your website. And then once those files have been downloaded, you'll see this activate button up here. And then you'll need to push activate. And that's actually going to go through and activate the plugin so that it's ready to use on the actual website. Once you've done that, if you are using a caching plugin, you'll want to purge your cache. You want to do that anytime you install or activate a new plugin. And then let's navigate over to the home page here, and then we're going to click edit page. So we'll actually add the metadata in the page by editing the page itself. Alright, so if we scroll down to the very bottom here, now we'll see this Yoast SEO plugin showing up right here. And when we click Edit Snippet, this is where we're actually able to enter in the metadata that we want to show up on the website. Now we're using the demo website here, so the site title, which is the company name, is just set to demo. So yours should say whatever, Chicago Dentist, or whatever the name of your business is, you know, Tom's Shoe Store, whatever it is, it should have the title of the business should be the very last item here in the SEO title. So there's really two portions of the metadata, and you can see this is showing us the example up here of what it's going to look like on Google. And we can switch back and forth from the desktop view, which probably looks more familiar, where you have the actual title, the URL of the website, and then the description here. So we can toggle back and forth between those two. Let's just leave it on desktop since that's typically the most familiar for people. And we typically start with the meta title. So this is automated. Basically, these, when you click this button, Insert Snippet Variable, you can add in these different things that automate the process of developing your meta title. So you'll see it's just pulling the name of the business. Remember, I was saying that was demo. So for yours, it might be Tom's Shoes or whatever the name of your business is. So let's just delete this for now. And let's scroll up because this home portion here is being pulled in from the actual title of the page here. Now for our example, our main term is Chicago Dentist. So we want to make sure we're getting our main term up here in the title, and then when we scroll down, you'll see that that also appears down here as well. Now we can get a little bit more technical with this if we want, and we can add a bit more local data. So we could say dentist in Chicago, Illinois. And then that's going to let people know that we're a dentist in Chicago, and it helps to have the city and the state identifier in there so that Google knows that this is definitely a dentist in Chicago, Illinois, and not some other Chicago. Now with Chicago, it's probably not that big of a deal, but with some cities like Santa Fe, there's a Santa Fe, New Mexico, and a Santa Fe, Texas. So just saying Santa Fe, or Santa Fe dentist might not work out so well. So yours should look something like this, where you're dentist in Chicago, Illinois, and then you should have the title of your business or your website, or essentially your business name should be right here. Now if your business is a national brand, so that you serve people all across the country, or even a worldwide business where you serve people across the whole world, then this is going to be a little bit different. So basically what you would do is remove the city identifier and add in some related information. So maybe we do dentist classes that we teach across the world. So we might add in some additional information. Dentist classes, learn to be a dentist. And I'm just coming up with examples here, but the assumption would be that there would be people searching for learn to be a dentist and dentist classes as well. Now obviously this is a fictitious example because you don't just take random dentist classes. You have to get a degree and there's a lot to go through. But just for the sake of showing you how this works, if you're a national business, you would add a bit more information and remove the city identifier. So then it would look something like this example here. So let's go ahead and just switch back to the if I can type dentist in Chicago, Illinois, and then we'll scroll down here, and we need to now write the meta description. And you want your keywords to show up at the very beginning of the meta description. So we might say something like affordable or top dentist in Chicago, Illinois, offering teeth cleaning, teeth whitening, dental fillings, implants, and more. Call to schedule an appointment today. Okay, and make sure everything is spelled correctly, obviously. Now let's break this down. So what we did is we created the first sentence and just put pretty much all of our main keywords in. Now this is going to be different for each page. So this is the home page, and the home page is meant to be like a summary of all the other pages on the website. So that's why we've mentioned dentist, well, we don't want it to be plural, dentist in Chicago, Illinois, and then we also have our other keywords in here: teeth cleaning, teeth whitening, dental fillings, implants, and more. And then this last section here should be a call to action, and we can even have an exclamation point just to get people fired up. But essentially this is calling people to take an action, which is to schedule an appointment with our dental office, right? Now if this were the teeth whitening page, for instance, then teeth whitening would be the main term that we would add in here. And then for the related terms here, we would add in stuff like professional teeth whitening, and other related terms that have to do with the actual teeth whitening service that we're offering. And then, of course, we would add in a call to action at the end. So for each page, it's going to be a similar layout. You have in the meta title your main term. If it's a local business, you've got the city identifier after the main term, and then you have the name of the business after both of those items. And then in the meta description, you have your main term at the beginning, some related terms after that, and then call to schedule an appointment, which is basically a call to action at the end. Now once you've written that and actually added it into that page, then all you need to do is scroll up to the very top of that page and click update, and then that's going to go ahead and save that metadata so that when Google or other search engines crawl this page, they pick up that metadata information and end up displaying it in the organic search results on Google or whatever search engine it is. So that's basically it. Once you've completed the metadata for the home page, then you just need to go through and add in the metadata for the rest of the pages on your website.
Hey, thanks so much for sticking around to the end of this episode. I hope that you got a lot of value out of it. If you did enjoy this episode, then make sure to tune in to the next episode where we're going to show you how to secure your website so that you don't have hackers getting into it and destroying all the hard work you put into developing a fully optimized website. All right, I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.